Welcome back, folks. With me, Phil Turrell. You're watching part 2 of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Let's Play. So we get to Aquatic Ruin Zone, which is I would say this is my second or third favorite zone. That little pause stutter you saw earlier, I had to edit out a little bit of pause. So I was too lazy to restart the zone. But anyways, Aquatic Ruin Zone, it's a very, very easy level, very short level actually. Assuming that you avoid the bottom path. If you go through the bottom path, you'll go through the water section, and really, nobody really likes water sections. I don't really mind them actually, but a lot of people don't like water sections in video games. I don't really blame them. You go slower, and there's drowning hazards and all that. But Aquatic Ruin Zone, I love the music. This is probably my second favorite track in the game, followed by Casino Night Zone for the third favorite. And then Hilltop Zone for the first. Yes, I did say that. So, like I said, Aquatic Ruin Zone is a very short zone. It's not very long. You can finish both the first act and second act in a relatively short amount of time, as I just showed there with Act 1. And I kind of slowed down a little bit. I could have probably beaten that in like maybe 40-ish seconds. Maybe a little bit more than 40-ish seconds. But not a super long level. The music I do like. It's just a shame that nobody really likes Aquatic Ruin Zone. I actually find it very, very cool because you can go into the trees up above and like make leaves fall. I think that's kind of a neat little touch. Robots bust out through the walls, you know. Then there's the water section if you dare to go down there. So it's like a whole nother, layer to it. But that's just me. I know a lot of people don't like water zones, so I'm probably just a minority there. But not too much of a complicated level. It's not a super hard level, as I said. And we're almost done, actually. We're at the boss. So 50 seconds in, we're at the boss. So the Robotnik fight is going to be very simple. Get on top of the totem pole, and then do not get pegged by the arrows. Use the arrows once they're in this totem pole to get up top. Now, unlike the original version, that hammer still has hitboxes. Actually, no, I think the hitboxes were still on the hammer even after it's pressed. Like right there, I got hit. But if the hammer is already pressed down, and you touch the hammer while it's already pressed down, it has a hitbox, so you'll take damage. So just be wary of that. But not a super hard boss fight. Super easy. And what are penguins doing here? I mean, to me, it doesn't look like a very cold, snowy level. It looks very, I guess it might be like alpine-ish, I guess. Anyways. Casino Night Zone, my third favorite zone, because gambling. I've never been to a casino, but I do like the way casinos do look. But regardless, the music's fantastic, and then introduced a new gimmick in Sonic gambling. You can jump inside the slot machine. I guess that's what it is. Like I said, I've never been in a casino. I don't even like to gamble, but Casino Night Zone has a gimmick where you can jump into the slot machine up here, and then you can take a chance. If you get 3 Sonics or 3 Tails or 3 Knuckles, if you're playing as Knuckles, you can get quite a bit of rings. I think there's maybe like 20 or 30 rings, maybe. I don't think it's like 50. I think that's a bit high. If you get 3 bars, I think it's like 10. If you mess up any of the combinations, you don't get anything. I think some combinations that are mismatched, you might get something. You get 3 jackpots. Speaking of bars, that looked like it was 10 rings, maybe. If you get 3 jackpots, then you get 100 rings. But if you get 3 Eggmen or 3 Robotniks, I don't know why I keep calling it Eggman or Robotnik Eggman. I mean, it is the same person, but I just like Robotnik more. But if you get 3 Robotniks, then you'll start to lose rings. I think you lose like a good amount. I think you lose like 100. So not very fun. But with that, Casino Night Zone's done. Not that long of a zone again. I find that Act 2 is a lot longer because of a certain section. If you don't know how to control Sonic in midair after he hits an object that sends him flying, the bumpers, I guess that's what they're called. Springs, all you gotta do is just hold jump, and it'll charge Sonic up. And once it's charged up all the way, you can let go, and Sonic will fly really quickly. And there's only one enemy type here. It's just that little bouncy bug thing right there. It tells him to stick there and gamble. I'm going to go ahead and leave him behind. And then these little pill-looking things, They go from green, yellow to red. Once you hit them when they're red, they disappear, but you get some points for that. Not too crazy unless you care about points, but I don't think 300 points is really worth it. Or I guess 10, so it'll be 30. But super colorful level, super fun music level. And I did actually enjoy the pinball version of this on Sonic Generations very much, just for the music. But down here, you're gonna get to the section I'm talking about that takes a bit of platform right here. Go down, and then you're gonna go through here and try to navigate through these two bumpers right here. It's a little bit of a tricky thing. I find that if you just start in the middle, spin dash, you can get through here if you just hold right. Don't hold the jump button, just spin dash and go right. And I think that gets through it really easily. And then after that, we'll get through this bottom part, and we'll be at the boss fight. Now, the boss fight for the original version, I feel is a little bit more hard, but I also appreciate the sides here close down and rise up once you beat Eggman. So, kind of a nice touch. They just disappeared and reappeared in the Sega Genesis version. But what you want to do is use the half pipe, and then once you get off to the edge, jump, and you'll be at a perfect height to hit Robotnik. I think I said Eggman earlier. Shame. But not a super hard fight. Just don't hit him from underneath, because obviously you don't want to get electrocuted or get hit by the little bombs he drops. If the bombs do drop on the ground, they do explode and create shrapnel. That's no fun. And then just go to the right, and then claim your capsule to release the animals from being roboticized. And then we'll go to my my favorite level of the entire game, because I just like the design, and then I do like the music. The music, I think, in Hilltop Zone is extremely overrated. It's very underrated. So, Hilltop Zone, Act 1. Again, I don't know what it is about the zone that I like. So, I mean, I know what I like about it, but it's difficult to explain to somebody why Hilltop Zone to me is like the best zone ever. For one, you're on a mountain or a hill, hence Hilltop Zone. And then in the background, you're just above the cloud line. I just appreciate that, like, that visual. And then the mountain's actually a volcano, because you gotta go through lava-filled sections. You got these seesaws that you have to do to bounce and act with the angry faces. It's been a very long day, folks. And then you got these gondolas, I think that's what they're called. And it's just a fun zone. And then they got Loch Ness Monster robots, so there's all that. And you go from above the cloud line to the mountain, and it's just, I just like it. I just like the music, and I like the visuals, even though they're very simple. Compared to Casino Night Zone, and then of course, Aquatic Ruin Zone, and some of the other zones like Mystic Cave Zone and Sky Chase Zone and all that, and screw Metropolis Zone. Anyways, enough of that. But the level is pretty. I found that the levels going forward. I don't know how that happened. Hit from the side. Maybe that's just the spikes from Emerald Hill Zone, just getting me payback for like not getting hit earlier. What the hell? Moves that. Oh. But anyways, continue on. You get this section where it's gonna sink and go up, and the lava is gonna try to get you, but you can just stay and hide off to the side, and the lava will sink back down. You can get to the right safely. Now, as I was saying before went stupid and off track, these ADDs, I think. The levels from Hilltop Zone going on forward, they have a lot more environmental hazards. Like this one had the crushing ceilings, the lava, and it just gets a little bit progressively worse from here. In my opinion, Mystic Cave Zone has the worst of it, because that pit that we're going to actually fall in on purpose, because they changed that pit in the Sonic 2, ports after. I think the mobile version of it going forward, they got rid of it, but we'll talk about that when we get to Mystic Cave Zone. But and then I want to say, what's after Mystic Cave Zone? Oil Ocean, I think. And then Oil Ocean, of course, has environmental hazards galore, and then you got Metropolis Zone with the very, very evil badniks. Almost lost my chill there for a second. Anyways, but this other than that, the levels just get a little bit progressively harder because of the environmental hazards out front. But otherwise, they're not super difficult zones, with the exception of Metropolis Zone. Metropolis Zone, I guess I can go eat it. But the music, phenomenal. Then, you know, Hilltop Zone, just, you know, keep going up. That's basically what you're doing. You're going up. And once you get to this invincibility, you can just ride the lava really up. And you want to go to the right, not the left. The left, you come out if you take the upper path. And actually, come to think of it, I've never really taken the upper path more than a handful of times. And honestly, I think I was either Knuckles or I just got very lucky with Sonic. And got the upper path. Stupid spikes. Anyways, the upper path is kind of hard to take, but you can avoid a lot of this inside fun stuff, in my opinion. Unless you care about speedrunning, then the upper part is where you need to be, because that's how you get through this level a lot faster. And I've only done like maybe less than a handful of times, maybe 3 or 4 times in my entire time owning and playing Sonic 2. But we're already at Robotnik, and I gotta say, whenever you beat Robotnik, it just bewilders me that he doesn't like spontaneously like just get incinerated, because when you beat Eggman, the top where the cannon is just explodes, leaving a hole, and it's smoking, and then he just sinks back into the lava, and it's like, dude, did that lava just sink into your submarine? Anyways, that's it for Hilltop Zone, my favorite zone. And we get into Mystic Cave Zone, which is not one of my favorite zones, but it also has one of my semi-favorite tracks. Because of that nut right there. I don't know what it is. It's very, I don't know. The music's very catchy, but it doesn't hit the high bar for me compared to the other. And I'm just a person that just likes like underrated tracks. I don't know what it is about. I mean, the entire soundtrack for Sonic 2 is very good, but just some of the underrated ones are my favorite. Anyways, this is a cave zone. The gimmick here is you're going to be going through this cave, of course. There'll be these sections of spikes that come out, but you have to jump on top. There's these ladybug or I guess lightning bug bites, lightning bugs, whatever you want to call them, that light up. You don't want to hit them when they're lit up, otherwise it take damage. There's vines that you have to grab to open up paths. There's vines that take you up or down safely. Unless you know what to expect, then you can just, you know, just drop down if you're brave enough. The pit I'm talking about is in Act 2. It's not in Act 1. So you don't have to worry about it. Act 1 of Mystic Cave Zone is actually very short. If I didn't spend some time going back to get rings, I could have already finished it. I think right here is the, not here. I think this is the last bit right here. Once we go up here, jump on this switch right here, and this lowers the drawbridge, and you can go up. And then you can actually take that bridge up to the right, take the vine up, and then we'll be at the end of the zone right about, I think it's here actually. Once we jump up here, and then the exit's right here. So awesome. I could have, like I said, I could have beaten it maybe in 10 less seconds, but I didn't have to go back and just get ring boxes and rings I just missed. But not a super hard level, but it's a fun level. And I do like the sprite work in the background, the foreground. I just like it. It just, to me, it looks like a cave. Or a mine, if that's what they're going for. Now, Act 2 of Mystic Cave Zone, I'm going to play through it twice. I'm going to finish it the first time on this part, and then we're going to get to the extra special bonus level if you find out where it's at, or I guess in case you forget where the bottomless, or not the bottomless pit is, but the dreaded pit of spikes. And you're like, oh, hey, I fell down here. Why am I not dying? Oh, hey, special zone. But yeah, the dreaded pit is on the bottomless level, and I'm not doing myself a favor by taking the upper path, because this is going to put me on the path to avoid it, and I don't want to do that. But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, is how many times I've fallen in that pit. I don't want to go to the lower path. And the reason why it's so dreaded is, once you fall in, it's so far down that even if you're supersonic, and God help you if you're supersonic, you can't jump out of it. And if you're supersonic, you can't get damage from the spikes until you run out of rings, and that's the only way you can reset the level, or reset to try again, is to run out of rings, die very patiently, and you know, that's not very fun. And that drawbridge is where you have to fall. And then there's an extra life down here, but we're playing on the anniversary version, so there's just coins. So I gotta backtrack a little bit to fall down that pit. Now, why do I want to fall down that pit in this version? Well, in the mobile version and onward, if you fall down that pit, you get thrown into an extra zone that the porters or the people who ported the game decide to include the Hidden Palace Zone. So if you fall down here, you'll go into Hidden Palace Zone and not Hidden Palace Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This was a zone, from what I understand, that got left on the cutting floor of Sonic 2, so we didn't get it. And it's a very fun looking zone. It's a very colorful looking zone. I like the colors in the background. I like the designs, the badniks and all that. Because to me, it reminds me, in a way, this reminds me a lot of Sonic CD, just the way it's designed and the way it looks. I know this is running off Genesis-esque sprite work and all that. It's not very super high-res sprite work compared to Sonic CD, but I do like the sprite work here. I do like the badniks. The one thing I don't like is this is the one track in the game I don't really like very much. I think this music played in the multiplayer race that you can play if you were lucky enough to have 2 people. I didn't have that, but occasionally I went into 2-player just to listen to the music, and I think this is one of the 3 tracks, I think, and I didn't really like it. So this is a little bit of a bummer for me, but you know, it is what it is. But the level itself I like. The boss fight is very unique. The badniks, like that little T-Rex or dragon, is very cool. The bats are pretty cool. They remind me of which bat enemy they remind me of? I want to say they remind me of a bat enemy from Mega Man. Not the ones that are Mega Man X that you can farm, but I guess there's another bat enemy I'm thinking about. But or maybe it's an RPG. But there's a lot of loop-de-loops here, and there's a lot of places you can get a lot of speed on. Tell us, how'd you do that? But if you want to cheese the boss fight, especially if you have the Chaos Emeralds, go ahead and use it, because the boss is going to be at such a height, you're not going to be able to jump and hit him normally without taking some damage. Oh, hey, the Master Emerald I just destroyed. Knuckles is going to have a fit. That's why he's going to turn on us in Sonic 3, or why he's going to be against us in Sonic 3. Oops, spoilers. But the boss, if you have Supersonic, you just want to go through it really quickly. Turn to Supersonic and just beat him down. Otherwise, you got to do it the long way, which is what I'm going to show. And I'm going to demonstrate, not on purpose, not to do what I'm about to do here. Do not jump and try to hit him, because he'll rise and you'll hit the flame and then you'll take damage. Now he'll activate his trombone instrument thing, drop mines that'll be in the water. So make sure you avoid him. And don't do what I was doing there. And I'm going to try it one more time. But the way you get him to fall down is he'll drop this giant mine. The giant mine will eventually detonate, and it will cause a surge of water. Now, of course, don't jump underneath the surge of water, and this will be an opportunity to get some hits on him. I got about 4 hits there, and you can do it again and get more hits if you're willing to risk it. But if you don't want to get hit, I would say 4 is the best amount of hits to go for. And then just wait for him to drop the giant mine, and then rinse and repeat. And then you'll be done with it. It's not a super hard boss fight, but it is a unique one, because it's very much you have to wait for him to do something, otherwise you can't hit him. So with that, we beat his trombone egg machine, and we can go ahead and go. And that'll be the end of this part, folks. So I'll catch you on the next one. We'll replay Mystic Cave Zone to fight the boss of Mystic Cave Zone, and then we'll continue on to my least favorite zones in Sonic 2. Which have good music, of course. But toodaloo, see you folks, and bye, and thank you again.